Greyport was a quiet coastal town.
The sea kept its own secrets.
The lighthouse stood alone for decades. Old photos hinted at a forgotten story. Each entry faded with salt and time.
Storms often hid what the sea took.
The tower creaked like a memory. Its light had long gone out. Records spoke of a keeper named Ellis.
He watched the sea for 30 years.
Then, one night, the light faded.
By dawn, no one was at the tower.
Only footprints remained by the shore.
Greyport whispered, but never asked aloud.
The horizon seemed to swallow time.
His roots followed the same tides.
His final note ended unfinished.
The town waited for his return.
Entries spoke of voices in the wind.
Then, silence took the harbor again. His routes always led offshore.
Some said the light moved by itself. Records spoke softly of another keeper. Storms returned each year without warning. Inside, silence grew heavier over time.
No one sailed near the lighthouse again.
An old record hinted at another name. People swore they heard steps inside.
Every evening felt the same shadow return.
A single key remained from his room. Greyport carried on quietly.
No one dared to enter fully.
Legends said the sea called names. The record was never fully closed.
The sea began to hum again.
The light listens. Some said the sea answered him.
The light was never seen again.
Darkness became the only beacon.
End of Chapter 1.
Dawn returned, but the tower stayed dark. Locals avoided the cliffs for months.
Stories spread quietly across tables.
A letter mentioned strange sounds at night.
The ocean kept everything beneath.
Records spoke of the keeper's silence. Light once meant safety here.
But every safety has its shadow. Someone watched the light each night.
He tracked tides more than people. Storms often came without a sign.
He left everything where it was.
The sea whispered, never speaking clear.
Faces blurred over the years.
Light and silence shared the night.
Even the files began to fade.
Rain erased everything it touched.
Some swore the light returned briefly.
But no one climbed to see it.
The silence grew heavier each night.
Few new caves existed beneath.
Water-shaped patterns like handwriting.
Old boxes carried salt and stories.
His eyes seemed fixed on the horizon.
The town began to forget the light.
Messages stopped arriving from the coast.
Still, the water remembered everything.
Greyport learned to live with silence. One log mentioned lights beneath the sea. The deep began to breathe again.
For a moment, light touched the glass again.
No one saw who restored it. Then everything went silent again. The last line ended with a pause. The silence became the only witness. Morning arrived, indifferent as ever.
The sea reflected nothing certain.
The story returned without answers.
The keeper's silence became legend.
End of Chapter 2.
The sea began repeating itself.
Each mark traced a hidden rhythm.
Records aligned like a pattern emerging. Greyport followed the tide's rhythm unknowingly.
The design hid geometric echoes of the sea.
Patterns echoed in every movement.
Even time seemed to follow the waves.
Lines on paper began to connect.
He climbed again, drawn by the rhythm.
Light bent differently that night.
Beneath the cliffs, the air pulsed softly.
He found circles hidden in every record.
Nature repeated its own design endlessly. Light and tide mirrored each other.
Every line matched a date and tide. He wrote of echoes between storms.
The horizon pulsed in perfect measure.
He stopped when the pattern became clear.
The ocean drew spirals beneath the fog. Decades folded into a single pattern.
Circles appeared where waves met stone. Every record mirrored the last. Light rotated slower each hour.
Greyport breathed like the tide itself.
Every movement echoed a forgotten rhythm. He tried to draw what he saw. The town moved in silent repetition.
Each line matched the sea's pull. Storms came in perfect intervals.
Time matched the waves without pause. Nature repeated what no one noticed.
Every tide followed the same line drawn years ago.
Reflections repeated, like memories returning.
He ended each note the same way.
Everything in Greyport began to mirror the sea.
The pattern connected everything beneath.
The sea revealed its living rhythm.
His final words followed the same curve.
By morning, the rhythm began again.
End of chapter 3.
Greyport slept under a heavier mist.
The air inside was colder than before.
He descended instead of rising this time.
Moist air carried a low hum. Old sketches hinted at something beneath. Beneath the cliffs, water moved differently. Passages carved deep into the rock.
Records called it the Hidden Chamber.
Entrance sealed by time and tide.
He followed the water's sound downward.
Earlier builders vanished from the records.
The air below hummed with rhythm. His notes became less coherent, each line.
Beneath the lighthouse, another light waited.
The town slept through the tremor.
Shadows moved without footsteps.
The flame responded to the sound below.
Tunnels stretched beneath the whole town. Later documents avoided this section.
He stepped closer to the source of sound.
He wrote of a pulse beneath Greyport.
The harbor echoed every vibration below. The hum felt alive now. He realized the pattern, reached inward. He kept walking until the sound deepened. Something beneath stirred faintly. Light rippled, as if breathing.
His notes formed a perfect spiral.
The sound grew until it filled the air. Above ground, the town stayed unaware. Waves responded in slow unison.
The stone seemed alive now. The old light answered faintly.
He wrote, "It breathes beneath us."
Morning carried no memory of the sound.
Greyport shone quietly again. The record ended without a conclusion.
Still, something moved beneath.
The rhythm continued, unseen.
End of chapter 4.
The sea breathed quietly again.
Greyport moved, as if nothing changed.
Files hinted the pattern continued offshore.
The light turned on by itself once more.
New notes appeared without a writer.
Something below mirrored every movement above.
Shadows lengthened as the tide rose.
Letters spoke of whispers at sea.
The waters toned, deepened each evening. Marks formed circles beneath the coast.
Raindrops moved in rhythm with the sea.
An old recording captured the same hum.
The harbor echoed from below.
No one typed, yet letters formed.
Waves circled like a heartbeat.
Charts aligned with the sea's rhythm. Beneath the cliffs, sound rehearsed again.
Every drawing matched the ocean's pulse.
Morning carried echoes beneath the calm.
Some records began humming softly.
Beneath, something answered the light.
Faces seemed to shift over time. Every sound matched an older echo.
He wrote, "The sound remembers us."
Greyport shimmered like a memory.
The deep pulsed once, then went silent.
Morning carried no echo this time.
The record stopped vibrating at last. Silence spread across the coast.
One phrase ended every page. It listens still.
Greyport settled into silence again.
The echo sank beneath the surface. No one entered the archive again.
Only the tide remembered the sound.
The sea kept its final secret.
The tower stood silent forever. Light returned, but weaker each year. Records and tide became one story. The deep whispered softly, then stopped.
End of chapter 5.
The morning sea seemed to breathe again.
Greyport woke, as if from a long dream.
Inside, the lens shimmered alive again.
A new entry appeared after decades of silence. For the first time, the horizon glowed.
Old records shifted under sunlight.
Silence turned peaceful, not fearful.
The door opaled by wind, not by hand. The beam turned toward the open sea.
People said they saw the glow return.
A familiar name signed the final line.
Greyport shone brighter than ever before. The lighthouse returned to its duty.
But something still pulsed beneath the waves. The new keeper wrote in the same hand.
Reflections aligned perfectly with the beam.
Old footage flickered into life again. Each sweep found no ships, only silence.
This time, it closed without force. The pattern redrew itself one last time. The echo faded gently into calm.
Morning light felt different this time.
People smiled at something they couldn't name. The keeper's eyes held the same calm glow.
Evening returned without the hum.
The light shone stronger than memory.
The pattern dissolved with the dawn.
Peace settled across the water. The story ended where it began.
Greyport returned to silence once more.
Far away, another light answered faintly.
The film ended with a final flash.
The light had finally returned home.
It watched the sea in eternal rhythm.
Life continued quietly, as before. The story was filed and left untouched.
The rhythm never truly ended.
Somewhere, the echo continued to breathe. Every story leaves a light behind.
End of series.